Welcome back. This is still Breakfast Daily right here on Citi TV. Of course, 0550-585-832 is the number to use if you want to send us a WhatsApp message. And definitely, you must use the country code +233 if you're texting us from outside of Ghana. Hashtag Breakfast Daily across all social media platforms also grants you the access to just keeping abreast of the conversation and being a part of it, okay? So currently, we are going to the Tainso Badu Road, the Tainso Badu Road, okay? Now,
you remember the elections?
Oh yes, how could we forget?
Do
you remember
Tainso constituency?
The popular Tainso constituency that was holding Ghana's fate in their hands, you know. This was what, in 2008?
Yeah.
2008.
I think, yes, that's correct. That's
yeah, 2008.
Or was it 2012 rather? It was 2012.
Are you sure?
I think it was 2012. Hey.
Anyway, it was one of those earlier elections, you know. Yeah. So we are going to time, okay. This road has been a problem. We have a report to put it into context for you.
This is the current state of the 8-kilometer Tainso Junction to Badu Township Road in the Tainso district of the Buru region. The road is riddled with countless potholes that's difficult to drive on the stretch. Drivers who ply the road have to move at a snail pace to avoid crashing into these countless potholes. Badu has one of the biggest markets in the Tainso district. Traders who patronize the market have been sharing their experiences traveling on the road.
When you do quendi and you cry a sren and another see as you can say ye bar, ye nuda. Say an adjo you an a pow ye bar, ye chapa, send ye say bedru high intimate medru. See a sren another Ome crackano maya, Nasoba crackano maya. You say you are not by ye kakra chain. Send ye who Jana, Nadaro maya, sren nanidie, ome boy kakra.
Say kwanin ye, nti yeso ya, ye wo mu kekaka kasa, enti mi ya no nurudom. Enti aja ye wo mu saa na ye na mu. Ya maso anye ye, ti yeso ale a. Ye ba ne saa na ya betena mu aton no ma. Kwano nye nti no. Enam se kwanin ye, de ese enye no ne age afiri wo. Aban menye ni ye mai. Ome ni ye mai ya na ye nya ho ntoe.
Kwan ne de enye kura ama ba kura bra na bra madroba ni pa opa na odeje. Kwan ne nye ba bia tutu. O ese kuro no kura na ye betu kuro na afiri wo. Ye nte ase kura aban bia ba se obe na ebu eni afaso. Aban bia ba wadi bu eni afaso. Droba ni ba bo a opa bia no ohwe kwan no a boa open or the bejo. Also, her coin a de honor, Nipper to Crum, you say, Mocasa, and she and Teo Monka. And yeah, but I say, Carbine bear quino, and my.
Hey, when she to Badu Quine, dear, and yan, West, cry. Kef, oh, they have a brave, but because driver be honor you knew no him kwana so. Would you agree what too much in it? Because of Fahana. And I feel so quite not to aside cry. Somebody who am about now Citi TV for Marcus Salmon Penny for Maya. I did before I did Jacob when she Badu. Okay, the pa.
The Dabihini of the Badu traditional area, Nana upon Damoajan, speaking on behalf of the Badu Traditional Council at the climax of this year's Yam Festival, called on the government to construct deployable roads in the area.
We have a lot of products here because this is a very farming community. And like you went to the market, you saw what the people are selling there. Plantain, cassava, maize, and so many other products. But our roads, so people are not patronizing them. For in Badu here, you get 4 tubers of yam selling at 10 cities. Not small ones, so big ones. I think you bear with me when you went to the market. But the roads, very terrible. So we are appealing to the government and those who can help us to take note of our roads.
The Member of Parliament for the Tainso constituency, Adam Sulemana, tells Citi News steps he has taken to ensure roads in the area get a facelift.
I think one of the who has followed me in Parliament, one of the key issues that I've been hammering on are our roads. The MP can do so much by lobbying. I've actually brought the Minister for Roads to Parliament to answer questions on this particular road. But the Minister mentioned that they were planning to terminate the contract and re-award it. It's like a year now. So I'm just appealing to the government again to in this particular budget cycle, capture the Tainso Junction to Adantia Road, who captures Badu, so that it will not only benefit the society, the community. Here, there's a cash crop, there are food crops that we produce. It will increase the revenue of the assembly, like you said. It will reduce the rate of crime in the constituency. It will also improve on government's foreign exchange because of the cashew that we have here. So there are multifaceted benefits if the government decides to tackle this particular road.
All right, so I mean, you see what's happening there in that community. That was a report by our colleague.
Michael Infum.
Yes, Michael Infum, Michael Sapong Infum. And I mean, as for road issues, I don't know when we will stop talking about them. And you see, let's understand this. It's not as though, and I always like to reference the more developed world, the more developed countries, the more developed communities. Because being more developed doesn't mean that they don't have challenges.
Yeah.
But when it comes to road maintenance, I mean, you can drive in Abuchi, let's put it that way, in a foreign land, and still meet potholes, right? Yeah. Still meet undulating spots on the road. Yes. But then, to drive on a stretch of road where it can cause you a miscarriage if you are pregnant, you don't, I like, why?
See those kinds of roads.
Why? And we know the challenges we have. What have we done, or what have we been doing over the years to ensure that we're not getting to the point where our roads are so dilapidated that it's cutting communities off from their marketplaces, from their spaces of livelihood, from their schools, from their places of worship? How are we getting here? How are we getting here? But David, I'm curious to know how this has been affecting the drivers. Of course, we saw a few of them speaking there. So let's speak to the Secretary of the GPRTU of Wenchi, Mr. Baba Musa. Mr. Musa, good morning. Hello? Hello?
Mr. Musa?
No.
Yes.
Good morning.
You're the chairman. You're the chairman of the GPRTU.
Yeah, I'm the secretary.
You're the secretary. Okay.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm fine.
So this Tainso Badu Road, what has the challenge been like for you and your drivers?
In fact, it's a big challenge. The road is not very good at all. Not good at all. From Tainso to Badu, all the places, you find it difficult to go there. So anytime we have to be doing maintenance to maintain our vehicles. It costs us so much to even to maintain the vehicles. So travel from Wenchi to Badu is not a very conducive place for us.
Yeah. How has that affected your fares, the fares that your drivers charge?
It affected everything, our fare. Even the fuel we use to go there, because of the nature of the road, we have to use as I say, more fuel.
Yes. Yeah. So at this point in time, who have you been speaking to? Have you spoken to any of the authorities, roads and highways? Have you spoken to anybody? What are they saying?
But we don't know where to pass because the road is being used by everybody, and everybody has seen the nature of the road.
So in your opinion, I mean, they've seen it, so they should know, and they are not doing anything. Is that how you feel? So, I mean, apart from the driving business, how is it affecting you personally, your lives as family men and family women?
Madam, because our livelihood is on the vehicle. You use all your money to maintain the vehicle. Or you need to buy fuel. So we have nothing to take to go.
Wow.
So it's affected too much.
Wow.
All right.
Okay.
Mr. Musa, thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll follow up on the issue for you. Thank you so much. So you heard us speaking there to Mr. Baba Musa. He's the secretary of the GPRTU in Wenchi. And I mean, he's, look, if vehicle maintenance is not a cheap thing. You know, in the first place, it's like to whom much is given, much is expected.
Yeah.
So maintaining a vehicle, and depending on the kind of vehicle you're using, is not a cheap thing.
Yeah.
Now, these urban buses and what's not that a lot of, you know, commercial drivers use, maintaining them is not cheap. Let's call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
Now, when you have to subject your vehicle to terrible roads and what they bring. That just heightens. I mean, even us on a normal day, we are driving through the urban roads that come with their challenges. A shock misbehaves here. You go and hit a pothole the wrong way. Your tire, you know.
Yeah, you know, it's true.
There are all sorts of things.
I don't even want to imagine what it is they go through in terms of the wear and tear.
Yeah.
How frequently they have to change
You
things.
see, and these are commercial vehicles. So if you are not keeping a vehicle up to a certain standard, that's a hazard for passengers. It's a hazard for you, but then also you've got licenses to maintain, and those licenses are given or reissued based on the state of your vehicle. Right? Now, like he said, and I asked this question because I can just imagine if you are using all your money on maintenance and fuel, then what are you taking back home? There are school fees, there's food, there are utility bills.
The fuel part
what are you taking back home?
The fuel part actually gets me because, you know, one of the things you notice when you drive often is that the quicker you're able to go from point A to point B without speeding, the less fuel you use.
Right.
You know, so if you're having to drive slow because the road is terrible, you're burning more fuel. But you're living in a part of the country where economic activity is usually lower, you know, and so I mean, if you've ever driven in those parts of the country, you realize that even the vehicular movement on the roads is not as heavy as places like the Ashanti region, for example, right? So you realize that it means movement and activity is lower, which means income is not as much from, you know, transportation business. It's not as much as you get in other regions. So you think about it, and it's like you're already getting relatively lower income. Now you're having to drive longer hours and slower, which means you're going to burn more fuel. It's a nightmare. A complete nightmare. I don't even imagine the troubles that they're going through there.
Look, I don't know how people are living in this country. It beats my mind. And it's not as though whether you drive or not, you earn a salary. Whatever you eat, whatever you have available to spend, your disposable income is dependent on how much sales you make when you're driving. And then don't forget that for some of these drivers, they are not necessarily the owners of the vehicles.
That's true.
So you have sales accounts to make to your boss or the owner of the vehicle before you get what is due you. I mean, really.
Yeah. No, it's not right. I mean, look, that area is also the breadbasket largely for the rest of the country. Right? It's the Brong-Ahafo region, the Brong, the Ahafo, and the eastern, you know, Bono part of the country. It's a nightmare, you know, to have to go through this, the Wenchi area, you know, so much. I think it's yams and all of that coming from
and we've learned that
it's
you can buy yam in their markets for as low as 3 tubers for 10 Ghana cedis. And look, that's a miracle in Ghana at the moment, because you're buying, if you go into our markets in some of the more urban spaces, not just in Accra, but even within the Kumasi area, even if you're to travel up the mountains, the eastern region, you're doing on average 18 cedis, 15 cedis per tuber of yam, right? Now in this space, because it's the breadbasket, you can get 3 tubers of yam for 10 Ghana cedis in 2022.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a miracle.
Yeah,
but
it
even
is.
so, they're saying people are not buying because really they don't want to ply the routes to get there.
Yeah.
And so prices are low, but people cannot even access the food. And do you know what that means for us in other parts of the country? It means that the
you gotta
people
pay
also
more.
need to, yes, because the
You
people
gotta
need
pay
to
more.
transport the food,
For
are also
whatever
not
little
willing
you
to
get.
go and get it. So we have a real challenge, and we
Yeah.
really need to, as a people, start, we need to be concerned about what happens outside of the spaces that we live within in the country.
Yeah.
But it's time to speak to, I believe,
The chief.
the chief
Yeah, the
of the
Dabenhene.
So he's a Dabenhene of the Badu Traditional Council,
Yeah.
right?
Badu
Yes.
Traditional area.
Okay. Nana, good morning. Hello. Hello, Nana.
Hello.
Nana, good morning.
Good morning.
You're very
How are you?
welcome to Breakfast Daily.
Thank you.
How are you doing, Nana?
I'm doing well. Great. That is love.
Good. You're good. We thank God. Nana, we are sorry to disturb you this morning, but we've come to you because there's an issue that we have identified within your community regarding the Tainso Badu Road and its terrible state. We've had our reporter there bring us a report about what's happening. We've also spoken to the secretary of the GPRTU for Wenchi this morning, and he's also expressed concern about how the drivers are having to deal with what is happening. But Nana, we want to find out from you as well. What is the situation like? How is it affecting the people in your community?
Okay. Thank you for inviting me to talk about the situation in Badu.
You're welcome.
Badu is a farming community within the Tainso district. And when you talk about the road, from Badu to Sunyani is about 32 kilometers. And since we are farmers here, the items we produce here are maize, yam, plantain, cassava, and cocoyam, including pepper and other vegetables.
Okay.
Like today is a market day in Badu.
Okay.
When you come to Badu now, you will see that the farmers have brought their produce to the market and begging for people to come and buy.
Wow.
As we speak now, when they say there is no food in Ghana, I don't believe in that, because when you come here, a bag of maize is costing 150 cedis.
Wow.
The full sack,
Yes.
cocoa
The
sack.
full sack. Yes.
Wow.
The full one.
Wow.
150 cedis. 150 cedis. So when you say there is farming in Ghana, I don't side with that person. And you get 4 big yams, tubers of yam, selling at 10 cedis.
Wow.
Not
Oh.
talking
Wow.
about cassava. As for cassava, you can just mention. So this is affecting the people of Badu, and especially the youth. There we have a population of about 25,000 people, of which two-thirds are youth, and they are in farming. And because of the items they produce are not getting market, some of them are leaving the town for Libya and other places because they farm and they don't get anything. Some have gone in for loans, and the loans they are not able to pay, so they have to run away, which is affecting the development of the town. So in a nutshell, what I would say is that all the cause of this are the bad roads we are within our locality. So when we talk about the economic situation in Badu, our main problem is the road, like your correspondent said the other time. So, in a nutshell, this is what I want to say. That we are begging the government, through you, I know your media is very powerful. So, through you, we want to
put our consent to the Minister for Roads and Highways to come to our because the people are leaving the town.
Yeah.
And Badu is not a small town. Even when you come here, that there are a lot of youth who are going into farming, and because of the terrible routes, government are charging heavily. From Badu to Wenji is about 8 to 9 kilometers, and they are charging 15 cedis per passenger, which is very bad. Yes. So actually, our roads, and I don't know what to say, but I am appealing to you, through you, to the concerned people to come and help us.
All right.
In constructing the road for us.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you very much,
Nana, thank you for speaking to us. We've heard your concerns, and of course we'll be following up on the conversation. We've been speaking to Nana Opong Damwajan II. He's the Dabinhini of the Badu Traditional Council. And I mean, look, David, I don't know whether we want to move forward or backwards. Like, what's our plan? In one breath, we are begging young people to revisit farming, fishing, the things that our grandfathers and grandmothers did to sustain themselves. And we are begging them to do these things within the communities that they come from, so that we can mitigate the rural urban drift and reduce the pressure on urban amenities.
Exactly.
We have spoken about planting for food and jobs. We have asked young people who've come to university to now go back with their knowledge base and mechanize farming, add more value so that we can increase our exportation. We've had all these conversations. Now there are some youth doing it.
Actually doing it.
And we are frustrating them because of a bad road. But I don't understand. So is it that we think of beautiful ideas in isolation and expect them to work without looking at the entire ecosystem and how things have to flow, how everything is interconnected? Because of course, if you're farming, you need access routes. Transportation is critical. How are we getting the food to the markets? Even if we're going to export, are we just going to throw the food into the air so that some plane will catch it and then it will end up wherever it needs to end up? No. So really, it's as though, you know, we have all these wonderful interventions, developmental ideas, and then we don't seem to understand that every little thing is interconnected.
Yep. Well, the MP for Tain is on the line. Suleiman Adama, Honorable Suleiman Adama has joined us on the line. Good morning, Honorable.
Good morning, my brother.
Yeah, how are you doing this morning? Welcome to Breakfast
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, so wanted to find out from you, the Badu area is being highlighted this morning. We have had a report from our colleague there, and it doesn't look like the Tainso Badu Road is going to receive any help anytime soon. But you are better placed to let us know what's going on with that particular road.
Yes, thank you, my brother, and good morning to you, viewers and listeners. I must say that the Badu Tainso, the Tainso Junction to Badu up to Adentia, which is also Sunyana West District, it's a very important section of the road network in the constituency. I say that because if you look at the whole of the Bono region, the Badu area in time is the largest producer of maize. Yes, it's the largest producer of maize. Now they have added cashew. This is a cash crop. But the road network has been persistently bad, very terrible. The road was awarded around 2008 or 2009. It's been 14 years.
It's never been touched?
Yes, I mean...
Since it was awarded?
Yes, since it was awarded, it was actually graded, the first coat was put on. But as usual, we allowed the first coat to deteriorate. It deteriorated since 2016. It's becoming so much unmotorable. Now, it doesn't look like it's even been touched before. So any contractor that comes must start fresh.
Yeah.
So all those resources are going into drain. I've had occasions to bring the Minister for Roads and Highways to answer questions on this particular section of the road in Parliament. The Minister actually said that, oh yeah, they agree that the road is very terrible and that they were looking at possibilities of abrogating the contract and re-awarding it. I actually even appealed to the Minister to, before the re-awarding and those things, bring some relief to the people there by giving some temporary work on it so that we can cut the boots and the maize, the yams, and all those food crops and cash crops from Bedu to the adjoining market centers. I say to you now that yam is now a glutton item here.
Wow.
It sells for sometimes 3 cities, 4 cities.
Wow.
It's huge and big ones. But when you go to the other market,
Yeah.
if you go to the Finland market, it's expensive because where the yam will come from is been cut off.
Yeah.
So we are still appealing to the government. It is not only the people of Bedu and Tainso who will be the eventual beneficiary. It is the government itself.
Yeah.
Because you and I know that the inflation that we calculate, a bigger chunk of the inflation is determined by food inflation.
Yes.
So if you're able to do these roads in time, in Bedu, and there are too many roads in time that are so terrible. I think your reporter came and he was on Bedu, but there are other parts of the constituency that the road networks are so terrible.
Okay.
So we are still appealing to the government to turn its attention to the roads in time, especially the Bedu Junction to Edentia Bedu Road.
Now, Honorable, the last time you had the Honorable Minister for Roads and Highways at Parliament was last year. And during that summoning, the Honorable Minister told the House that, you know, the contract would be reassigned and then work would start. A year has passed, that hasn't happened. Have you heard back from the Minister since then?
Yes. I've gone back to the Minister. In fact, it was supposed to be captured in the 2022 budget.
Okay.
That's the assurance the Minister gave that the 2022 budget will capture the road so that we can re-award it.
Right.
But it was not captured. I went back to the Minister. He gave me assurances again that they are working on this particular budget cycle. During the program that your correspondent was there, the GCE actually said the contract has been re-awarded. But the re-awarding is not the issue. The issue is about capturing it in this year's budget.
Of course.
And that's what I want the Minister to speak about. He gave me the assurance. So I'm just hoping that the assurances will work out now again.
Okay. Well, we are hoping to see it captured in the 2023 budget, which should be read this November. Yeah. So we'll keep making the noise, and we are happy that it's come to our attention as well. And we do hope that some relief will come to the people of Tainso and Bedu
and the rest of the country.
And the rest of the country, because like you're saying, Honorable, it affects all of us. We are all dealing with inflation issues. We are all dealing with food insecurity issues. And clearly we don't have to.
Yeah.
Honorable, thank you so much for speaking to us this morning.
Thank you so much. Thank you for this work that you are doing, because this is what the media should be doing. The roads in the rural and the hinterlands. It will solve a lot of our problems. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable. Thank you. So we've been speaking to the Honorable MP for the Tainso constituency, Honorable Adama Sulemana, and I mean, he is very passionate about what is happening with this Tainso Badu Road.
Yeah.
I hope that at some point we can figure it out. I'm hoping, if you're listening, Honorable Minister for Roads and Highways, good morning. I'm hoping that we see this road and other roads that are causing similar problems across the country. I'm hoping that we find these things in the 2023 budget. November is not far. And we're supposed to be reading it by the 15th of November. I don't know what date will be set, but we are hoping that when the Honorable Minister for Finance comes to Parliament in November, we'll be seeing some of these things captured in the budget. Okay, we're still in September, early days yet. It's not too late, I don't believe. All right, so let's go for a break, and when we come back, Breakfast Daily continues.